Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Aim Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hare Paramatmane Pranata Klesha Nashaya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiv bandhanan mriत्योर्मोक्षीयमामृतात्. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Our humble prostrations to the all-pervading Brahman, to our worshipful Guruji, Swami Jyotirmayanandaji Maharaj, to all sages and saints, all the holy scriptures, and to each one of you, Divyatman, आप सबको हमारा दंडवत साष्टांग प्रणाम है उस ब्रह्मांडीय ईश्वरीय शक्ति को, हमारे गुरुदेव स्वामी ज्योतिर्मयानंद जी महाराज को, सब साधु संतों को, ऋषियों मुनियों को, हमारे पवित्र शास्त्रों को और आप सब में विद्यमान परमेश्वर को कोटि कोटि प्रणाम. It's a great blessing to enjoy satsang together. Satsang meaning association of the truth. When we all come with pure hearts and humility to receive these wise teachings from the scriptures and our sages and saints. They have contributed and done a lot of tapasya, penance, all their life to get these gems of wisdom to share with all of us. Due to compassion, they have achieved what they came to do, but they are helping us so we can also climb on that ship and get liberated. So that debt to the Guru can never be paid. In many lifetimes, what to speak of one, the Guru who mercifully shows us the way, and then the Guru Shishya Parampara, the candle, a lit candle lights another one, the Shishya becomes the Guru and the Guru further creates Shishyas. This is the Parampara or the tradition, the holy tradition of Sanatana Dharma. And only qualified aspirants should enter in that place, not just everybody, because Unless we have purity, we cannot progress on this path. So we have to put in our effort. But the Guru and Shishya, Guru and disciple, both work towards the evolution. Push-pull concept. The Guru pulls you and you push. You put in your hard work and the Guru's grace guides you. And not just Guru, your present Guru. You are connected to the whole lineage, all the way to Adi Shankaraji Maharaj. This is an energy. Guru is never the body. Don't confuse with Guru to be the mortal body. Body is simply an instrument through which that knowledge is emitted. तो ये शरीर केवल एक माध्यम है जहां से ज्ञान का वितरण किया जाता है. That is all there is to it. So whether the Guru is in physical form or not, his energy will continue to guide you, protect you, make you stronger, and to make sure you progress and you achieve your goal of self-realization. But you have to be equally dedicated. Today is December 30th. 2 more days, 2 more nights, and then we will enter into New Year's. Tomorrow night after 12 p.m. in America. In India, it will be even sooner, and many other parts of the world. So the years come and go, and we are getting old also with these years passing by. So every year is an opportunity for us to re-inspect, visualize, prioritize, look at our life. What did we accomplish? What is meaningful? Are we happier? Are we more joyful, peaceful? And all dimensions of your life should radiate happiness, joy, peace, success. That is the journey of a sadhaka. So with that thought, let us pray for everybody, the whole world, the whole cosmos, the whole universe. May there be no pain. May there be happiness and joy and bliss. May the divine energies bless us. May they feel happy. May we feel guided. May man remember to do his duty for what he's been created to do and not do selfish, wrongful things. So as we purify, even one person changing, our life is meaningful. We have achieved our purpose if we can wipe somebody's tear, make somebody happy, do something special for somebody. Don't worry about doing big things. Just small things with love. Small things with love, whatever we do is very important that we make sure we dedicate our life on this project. This is not a quick journey. This is a journey that is blissful, joyful, happy journey. So with that prayer, may all people receive this love that all of you are generating also. जो हम सब ये इस समय करुणा, मैत्री, मुदिता और दया और शुद्ध भाव का संचय करके सब जगह वितरण कर रहे हैं, सबको प्राप्त हो, जिस जिसको आवश्यकता है प्राप्त हो. May all receive this bounty of this spiritual blessings. May their lives change because of these satsangas, because of this purity, and may they find a better way. May they find a solution out of their problem. So with this prayer, let us read our Guruji's message for today. Swamiji says, blessed self, adorations. Greetings for the new year. Strive to make this year a year of spiritual growth and enlightenment. So what a beautiful opportunity. We should remind ourselves, this is going to be the year when I will make significant process and see the light with Guru and God's blessings, that I will get enlightenment. But don't be disappointed if it doesn't happen this year. This is a project that is so big in scope that most people can't even imagine the bliss, forever terminating the cycles of life and death, and then forever being joyful and seeing your Atman, or your consciousness, yourself, your soul. So that is a very pure, very high level journey. So don't be frustrated, have lots of patience, always have love and compassion. And we don't need to reach the destination by hurrying the process. It takes time for a tree to grow and give fruits. It takes time for a mother to give birth to a newborn baby, and so on. So lots of patience, love, dedication, sincerity, and purity is required. Without that, we will not make much progress. So that is essential on both sides, like the qualification of the aspirant and the qualification of the guru. Both are needed. Swamiji says, promote harmony in your daily life. Harmonize all things. Bring balance. A little karma yoga, a little bhakti, a little dhyana, a little jnana. All these things are holistically sweetening your life, provided you know that art. So bring rhythm and balance in your daily programs. Whatever you do, make sure you blend it, and that we don't get frustrated, we don't get stressed out. There will be occasions like that, but we should not lead our life that way. We should be very mindful of what we do. Vibrate with joy. See, joy matlab prasanna rahiye, khush rahiye, be happy, joyful. Because when you have joy and happiness, it is infectious. You will take it to others and they will also feel it. And sorrow is also infectious, even more so. One rotten apple, the whole lot goes bad. And one joyful person, and he starts to bring happiness. So you make the choice. Happy people are cheerful people, and they are optimistic also. So live with enthusiasm and vitality. Kitna sundar baat hai. What a beautiful thought from Gurudev, that live with vitality, meaning feel the energy. Don't live life in a monotonous, boring way. We should not do that. Every day the sun shines, every day the birds chirp, the flowers bloom. Each day is a new opportunity to change the rest of our life. Whatever we have been wanting to do, we can do. Therefore, Swami Shivananda Ji Maharaj always used to say, keep a spiritual diary. Every day, write down what you're doing well, which areas need improvement, and how did your day go today. So every day we think in those terms and we start making serious spiritual progress. It becomes a routine. And then if you have it written properly and you have saved those things, then it greatly helps us, because then we can track our journey over a longer period of time to see our progress, कि हम कहाँ थे और अब हम कहाँ पहुँच गए हैं, कहाँ आ गए हैं. So that is one step at a time. live to attain God realization. तो हमारा उद्देश्य क्या है? What is the goal in this human body? It is to attain mukti, nirvana, liberation, God realization, self-realization. Whatever name you give doesn't matter. Whatever God you worship doesn't matter. Whatever religion you belong to also doesn't matter. What matters is, who are you and where do you belong in this cosmos? And are you true and sincere to your faith? And if that's there, then you follow the teachings and you will become universal, you will become global, you will become whole. You will not be sectarian, you will not be radical, you will not be just dogmatic in your views. You will become like the breeze, free for all. So you have a glorious future before you. What a beautiful, beautiful comment from Swamiji. You all are special. That's why you are joining this satsanga and you leave so many tasks to be here. And we all benefit from it because we are creating powerful vibrations, purity, and then we share with others and we also benefit in the process. So there is no doubt that the future will be wonderful. Let every day be a festivity. See, we only enjoy special days, but in theory, every day is a festivity. Every work is a brick added to the mansion of your perfection. Every day, one thing at a time. If we learn even a little bit, if we learn one shloka a day of the Bhagavad Gita, there are 700 shlokas. In 2 years, we can memorize and understand the depth of the whole Bhagavad Gita in a very deep and profound way. But that will also mean sacrifice something else. Find that additional 30 minutes or 40 minutes or whatever. In the path of spirituality, whatever time you can find is the best time to give you acceleration in your spiritual progress. तो वो आपके लिए अति उत्तम है. जो भी समय आप भगवान को दे सकते हो, बहुत उत्तम है. Every obstacle is a stepping stone to a greater height. You see, some people stumble on that stone and they call it an obstacle, and then they will not do anything with it. It's too difficult. I don't want it. I got hurt, etc. And strong, determined people who have faith, they will use it as a stepping stone and go higher and higher and higher. Think of Hanumanji, how many problems he would face. Anything Lord Rama would do, he would never question. He would say, I'm getting this opportunity to serve Lord Rama. And he would always say, you are doing it anyway, God. Thank you for using me as your instrument. And difficult things, very difficult. Lakshmana was about to die within a few hours if he didn't get the right herb. And they were in Lanka, Sri Lanka, which is in South India. And he was supposed to go get the herb from the mountains in the Himalayas, which is all the way up north. And he didn't even know what the herb looked like, which one it would be, what would happen. He didn't ask any questions. He knew time was of the essence. First, he brought the physician with his house. He picked him up and brought him right at the battlefield. See? So, when God is by your side, miracles will happen. So, you look at everything that comes to you as a stepping stone. Don't say, I have been doing so much. Don't just be focused on the end result. The journey you are on should be as pleasant also. जो आपका यात्रा है वो भी उतना ही आनंद वाला होना चाहिए. If you have just reached the end, but in a very dry, cruel, angry way, you will not make any progress. That's not the way to do it. So enjoy the roses along the way, the fragrance, the sun, the breeze, the beautiful grass, the people, the smiles. Everything will add to your progress. So every breath will be a constant affirmation of your unity with God. Every breath is taking you closer and closer and closer. And one day you will merge into that. Him, it, energy, God, consciousness, self. All these are just, you see, these are just words. We have created them. But that divine energy, that divine Shakti who has created this whole cosmos, I mean, all that science can say is we don't know. They keep on finding solutions, and the more solutions we find, the vaster the universe gets, the bigger the dimensions grow, to a point where we have to appreciate how much intelligence has gone into this cosmic plan. And in you also, and me, and everybody, because that energy resides in every one of us. So, how quickly we will get God depends upon how quickly we will purify ourselves. And this is not a mathematical dimension, 2 plus 2 equals 4. We are timeless. We have been aging for millions of years, so many embodiments. We have been through so many experiences. So, and we have accumulated good and bad and mixed karmas in the process. So in this life, which is like a little handful from a whole acres and acres of wheat, we have only picked a little bit for our cooking for this meal. That's what our life looks like. So don't expect, but yet we have in this life the opportunity, the ability to make significant progress, and through Guru's blessings, through your own self-effort, through the desire also. You have to want it badly. If you just are listening, so many people listen to YouTube lectures, so many professors with PhDs, but that's all intellectualism. We are not talking about intellectualism. We are not talking about how much we've memorized, how much we know. On the contrary, we are talking about how much we feel, where we have reached, and this is the journey of love, of prema. And even uneducated saints have achieved this self-realization, because it transcends all barriers, all obstacles. And then once we become totally pure, we become Brahman, God. But we cannot even have one shred of impurity. That is the obstacle. Think of you threading a needle with a small hole, and you have a thread. So the thread has to be totally, first of all, the hole of the needle and the thread have to be compatible, right? If the thread is too big, it will not go through that hole. So we have to first thin it and, shape it and fix it. And even if there is a little bit of a strand that is going astray, it will not go in. So we lick it, we suck it, we put it in water, we put some glue, whatever, on the edge, so it goes without an obstacle. So that is the faith and the one pointed approach we need for God realization. Most people, most people are not qualified for this level of intensity, because we want everything. We also want a comfortable house, we want to see the movies, we also want to party with our friends, we also want to do, and spirituality is a small section of our life. So those people will are very good. They will continue upwards in their life, and at some point they will attain, they will get that desire for liberation. But I'm talking about people who take sannyas, who give up their life, or people who feel like fish out of water. Those people are very, very, very few. Very few, because most of us don't have that intensity of saying, okay, I'm living in the world, but I belong to God. Everything belongs to God, and have that thought maintained all the time. It's not easy to do that. And therefore, not everybody is supposed to be a sannyasi, or to be, even householders can attain that, attain the same state as somebody who's a renunciate. But here the point becomes then, ki what is your level? If you are in third grade, don't expect to do college level math. It won't work. So we have to prepare, rebuild our muscles, build our energy, learn the skills, and keep on growing better and better and better till we get admission in the proper class. And so, no matter what you do, you are bettering yourself, isn't it? We are getting stronger and more qualified. So each soul will progress according to his prior karmas and his intensity of desire. If the desire is lukewarm, the results will be lukewarm only. Don't expect miracles. So Swamiji says, may God bless you, thine Swami Jyotirmayananda. So self-effort, divine grace, Guru's grace, grace of the scriptures, all these, may you achieve what you are trying to do with love, faith, and sincerity. And may you all be blessed on this journey. भगवान आपका मंगल करे, कल्याण करे, आप सबके अंदर भक्ति का रस जागे और आपको ईश्वर की ओर चलने की प्रेरणा हो. ओ वैराग्य, we are talking about dispassion, vairagya, which doesn't come easily, it doesn't come on its own, it has to be through many births, many actions, which means we have been progressing through this journey over many lifetimes. And when vairagya comes, you will know, your body will know, your soul will know, and then that is the stage where you become truly qualified. Other than that, it's just a journey. We are just preparing ourselves to walk on this path. Hari Om Tat Sat. So let us chant our Kirtan, and then we will get into our Yoga Vashistha. Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Jaya Ganesh, Pahi Mam, Shri Ganesh, Shri Ganesh, Shri Ganesh, Raksha Mam, Sharavana Bhava, Sharavana Bhava, Sharavana Bhava, Pahi Mam, Kartikeya, 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 Raksha Mam, Jaya Saraswati, Jaya Saraswati, Jaya Saraswati, Pahi Mam, Shri Saraswati, Shri Saraswati, Shri Saraswati, Raksha Mam, जय गुरु शिव गुरु हरि गुरु राम, जगत गुरु परम गुरु सद्गुरु श्याम, आदि गुरु अद्वैत गुरु आनंद गुरु ओम, चिद गुरु चिद घन गुरु चिन्मय गुरु ओम, जगत गुरु ओम गुरु सच्चिदानंद, शंकराचार्य शिवानंदा ज्योतिर्मयानंदा, Shankaracharya Shivananda Jyotirmayananda Shankaracharya Shivananda Jyotirmayananda. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Shiva 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 Shivaya Namah. Om Hare 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 Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Ramachandraya. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Anjaneya, 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 Pahi Mam. Hanumanta, 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 Raksha Mam. Om Shakti, Om Shakti, Om Shakti, Pahi Mam. Brahma Shakti, Vishnu Shakti, Shiva Shakti, Raksha Mam. Adi Shakti, Mahashakti, Parashakti, Pahi Mam. Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti, Raksha Mam. Gangarani, 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 Pahi Mam. Bhagirathi, 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 Raksha Mam. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Hari, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Hari, Hari Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, 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 Om. So continuing our wonderful journey on this holy scripture we call Yoga Vashistha or Maha Ramayana. Today, and we are on Nirvana Prakarana. Nirvana by definition means liberation. So, for serious aspirants, this scripture is like oxygen to our breath. We will be picking up today section 108 and 109. It's the story of King Vipashchita. So, last Friday we had talked about the ether of consciousness, and the world is non-existent like your dream. Just like your dream is unreal, this world is also Brahma's dream. So Lord Brahma is dreaming, and in his dream, all of us exist. When he wakes up, all of us are gone. Just like in our dream, we dream things, and then when we wake up, they are gone, evaporated. But you created your dream. You see the things, you hear the things, you feel the things. Even the pain you feel, the joy you feel in your dream. Much in the same way, this world is called a dirgha swapna, which means a delayed dream. Because in our dream, we sleep at night, we wake up in the morning. But in this dream, we sleep and then we wake up in another body. So basically, and when we wake up, only then we will say, oh, that was all a dream. What was that? And you wake up into something different. You have an astral and causal body. Your physical body is no longer there. It's actually a very joyful moment, truly, for the departed soul. But the souls that are left behind, they grieve, they cry, they don't want you to leave. So all that happens because in the dream, we are in the illusion. But when your dream is broken, no more illusion, no more confusion. You are totally clear that whatever it was a dream. So the story of King Vipaschita, Sri Vashistha continued, O Rama, the very appearance of this world is caused by ignorance. Projected by ignorance, this world appears as endless as Brahman himself. So what is the root cause of our embodiment and the embodiment of 8.4 million different species? Ants, spiders, trees, roaches, fishes, whales, so many different kinds of species. That is all due to our avidya. Avidya meaning ignorance. Vidya is knowledge. Avidya is lack of knowledge. So does that mean that we don't know? Correct. It means exactly that. It means exactly. I know it hurts our ego when we hear that, because we like big titles, we have nice salaries, we may even have big homes, a nice family, सब कुछ होगा, लेकिन भगवान की दृष्टि में हम मूर्ख हैं यदि संसार से ही चिपके हुए हैं. If we are stuck to the world and we think the world as our reality, then we are ignorant. I'm not saying foolish necessarily, but what it means is we are dreaming. If you win a lottery in your dream, 10 million, $800 million, you wake up, is it worth anything? Is it worth even 1 penny? Do you see anything at all after your dream is over? But how much joy you received in your dream. Hmm? So this is exactly what we are talking about here, but from a very profound standpoint. So this world is endless. Brahmand ananta hai. Just like there are so many in this world, we call Earth, planet Earth, is like a speck of dust. A speck of dust on the beach. One grain. What is our existence in that speck of dust, which we call the world, when compared to the cosmos? Endless. I will relate to you a story that will shed light on this point. In the shining valley of the Lola Loka mountains, there is a rock. In the past also, we had studied the life within a rock. You remember that story? What Vashistha Muni experienced. It was his dream. So within that rock exists the 3 worlds with their time, space, and multiplicity of names and forms. So what happens? 3 worlds. Just like we have here, we have the heavens, we have this world, earth, and then we have the nether worlds. So what happens? Time and space create multiplicity of names and forms. As soon as a baby is born, the first thing we have to do is give it a name to register his birth certificate. He is a soul, he got a body, he has come now, so we give it a name and then we give it a form. It's a female, it's a male, it's a black boy, it's a white boy, it's an Indian, it's an American, Chinese, whatever. So all these names and forms create multiplicity. Multiplicity means ek se bahutva. From one we create infinite, countless. But there is only one true copy. Then everything else is a facsimile or a Xerox or a copy. In that world system is the earth with its vast plains, oceans, and mountains. So within that rock of the world system is the earth and the plains, the oceans, the mountains. You say, how can that be? That doesn't sound right. How can a rock have all that? Let me ask you, do you take any space with you in your dream when you sleep? How much space you need? You don't even know whether you have your own body or not at that time. The only way you remember is when you wake up, or somebody tells you in your dream that it's a dream. That's it. Other than that, what is your universe? You create mountains, you create rivers, you create snakes, so you create that lottery ticket that you thought you won in your dream, which is practically useless. So all these things that we go through, good or bad, happy or sad, it's all multiplicity. But mind you, no space. How much space do you need for your dream? You are sleeping on a 6 feet bed. That's it. So there are, within this earth, there was a city known as Tatamiti, ruled by a powerful king known as Vipashchita. So the king's name is Vipashchita, and the city that he is ruling is Tatamiti. So King Vipashchita was a great devotee of the fire god, Agni Devata. And our fire god resides in our speech. So when we speak, it is goddess Saraswati who blesses us, but the fire god is always residing. When this body was created, every one of your senses is presided by a deity. Your eyes are presided by the sun god. Your ears are by the directions god. Your breath is by Ashwini Kumaras. And your voice is through the fire, Agni god. And Indra is the energy in your hands. Lord Vishnu is your movement in your feet, and so on. So when we please our senses, in other words, we are pleasing these energies or gods. So King Vipashchita, he was a great devotee of the fire god. Why? Because in the fire, you see, there is one quality. Whatever you put into the fire, it gets burnt up. totally destroyed. The original form, name is gone once you put it in. It used to be this, now it has evaporated into the fire. So this king was a highly devoted to Brahmins, sages, and saints, and was a great benefactor to his subjects. What a blessing. Some people in this world create disharmony and fights and greed, and then there are other people who create harmony, love, compassion, and rule ethically. That is what we are covering currently in our mysticism of Mahabharata. The Pandavas being ethical and principled brothers, and the Kauravas being unethical and highly treacherous and greedy people. So this Vipashchita was a great king, very ethical, nice, and also a devotee of the fire god, and also respecting sages and saints, and also took care of his kingdom, which means he was good in all aspects, all dimensions of his life. And that's what we always discuss. If we are not happy in every aspect of our life, if we are not making a significant improvement, then something is wrong with our spiritual progress. Because every act should be an act of worship. Even your work is worship. Work is worship. So you give it to God. Oh God, I'm here today. I'm going to do my duty. Please protect me, guide me. May my intellect work beautifully. And it's all an offering unto you. That should be our feeling when we give it to the divine energy. So this king, King Vipashchita, He had 4 chiefs, commanders, who with their vast armies protected his great kingdom from 4 sides, north, south, east and west, which are the directions. So peace and affluence reigned supreme for a long time because he was good and ethical and he had good people in place. There was peace and affluence, meaning everybody was comfortable. They had enough. However, with the passage of time, it happened one day that a secret agent from the north informed the king that the protector of the eastern boundary had died due to fever. So that commander passed away in the east. His enemies, taking advantage of this opportunity, had invaded the kingdom, and in a series of battles, the chieftains protecting the country from the east, west, and north had been defeated and killed. So bad times fell upon the king. All of a sudden, he got attacked. Hearing the rush of events, the king summoned his generals with his armies to prepare for a great battle. So he got ready. In the meantime, however, Vipashchita's enemies invaded the royal city and his army, and subjects were struck with unimaginable terror. Just like what is happening in Russia and Ukraine right now. Unneeded war, so much loss of life and damage. What for? For a little piece of land? For a little ego? See, this is what we are talking about with dharma. And the Mahabharata was exactly that. Lord Krishna in the end went and said, can you only give 5 villages to avoid a war? And Duryodhana said, I will not give enough land that covers the point of a needle. So war became inevitable. This is what we are discussing about the impact of greed and anger and jealousy and hatred. क्योंकि यही सब था Mahabharat. And how many people died in that? Almost 3 million people in that war, 2.8 million people. And there was so much bloodshed. They said it looked like rivers of blood was flowing. All for transient things, power, kingship, land, and all that is a mirage in a dream anyway. Who has taken anything from this earth when we depart? ना कुछ लेके आया बंदे, ना कुछ लेके जाएंगे. We come with nothing and we go with nothing. But the power of illusion is so strong that it makes us think we are here forever. We will be doing this. Oh yeah, there's plenty of time. I'm still young. I have kids I need to take care of. I have a husband. I have this, I have that. I have so many duties. I will also do when time permits. I'll do spirituality. And then one fine day, he's our last on earth. And then all we have is regret. अब पछताए होत क्या जब चिड़ियां चुग गई खेत. Why repent? Now the time was available. So this is what they say. So good devotees don't wait for those things. They prepare ahead of time. So despite the terrible situation raging before him, the king composed his mind and entering the temple of the fire god, offered a fervent prayer to the deity. Just imagine that scenario. Murders, fight, killing, and the whole city under siege and under attack. And what does he choose to do? He goes to that deity because he's a devotee of the fire god. He goes to offer his prayers because that is the source which gives him the energy. Therefore, That is the most important act at that time. Finally, he performed a self-effacing sacrifice, which means he was not even worried about offering his body to the fire god to please him. So in this instance, he offered his own head as a sacrificial oblation to the fire god, saying, "May I become fourfold in order to conquer my enemies. May I get enough strength because my commanders have now lost, but I will not give up hope." Reminds me of some people who against all adversity fight and they emerge victorious. Sometimes through a disease that we have conquered, sometimes through a difficult problem, a family issue. There can be so many things. But like Swamiji says, this too shall pass. Ye bhi guzar jayega. So therefore, we have to understand. Remember, even these demons, they have a lot of energy, lot of strength, and a lot of discipline. And they achieve all kinds of boons from God. Ravana did the same thing. He had 10 heads and he cut each head. He cut 9 heads and offered it to God. He endured all that pain. Not just one head. He cut 1, 2, 3, all 9 of his heads and offered it. And then he got a boon from Lord Shiva. But the thing is that these demons, they have incredible endurance and they do a lot of tapasya and sadhana, but their objective becomes wrong. They eventually are unable to transcend the ego, and therefore they fall a prey, and then God devises a plan to annihilate them. So he prayed to become fourfold. The fire god granted his prayer. Of course, he is sincere, he is ethical, he is hardworking, his people are good, and he has done all good things. So why would he not? So that way, he got his prayer answered. 4 personalities arose out of the altar, and it was just like you have twins that are hard to tell from each other. In this case, 4 of them came out from that fire. Vipaschita in 4 forms. Each was endowed with their own armor, bow, arrows, and they rode on a horse. So fire god gave him, answered his prayers. So now we move on to sections 110 to 116. The 4 Vipaschitas become victorious. They enjoy various scenes and sights of the world. Sage Vashistha continued, the 4 Vipaschitas, each with a vast army at his command, fought a raging battle. They attacked their enemies from 4 sides, devastating them. Those who had not been killed fled in different directions. And thus, the 4 Vipaschitas enjoyed their victory by observing the various scenes and sights of the world. So determination, self-effort, giving yourself 100%, giving up your ego, your pride, your name, your fame. For God, it is all, but hardly anybody can do that. This is why we are saying that this path of touching God and saying, I want to get enlightened, it sounds so pretty. It sounds so encouraging, so easy, so good. But we have to have that level of Shakti, that level of faith, that level of resolve, because we will get tested. If tests don't come, worry. You should worry if tests don't come to you, because that means God is saying, continue to do your work. Once you are ready, I will give you the proper tests. Have you ever gone to the next class without giving an examination? I hope not, because imagine a doctor earning his degree without proper qualifications. A patient's life may be at risk by such a doctor. Much in the same way, we have to pay the price of our tapasya, our effort, our sincerity, and be humble instruments on the path of the divine plan. That's what we need to do. So let us understand the mystical meaning that Swamiji is explaining to us through this story. This story highlights the Vedantic fact that one Brahman has become many through Maya or cosmic illusion. Does that make sense? There is only one God, only one. There is only one energy that has created this whole thing. And that is what even in the Bhagavatam it is mentioned, ahameva sameva agre nanyat yat sat sat param paschadaham yadesh satcha yo vashishyet sosmeham. I was only one in the beginning, and through Maya, through my power of magic and illusion, I have created multiplicity. So there is only one sun in each solar system. So in our solar system, we have one sun. But that one sun creates countless rays. You can't count. If a mirror breaks into 100 pieces, the sun will create 100 rays just in that little mirror that broke. And imagine how many rays the sun cannot tell you. How much multiplicity? We cannot say. Nobody knows. The soul in Vipaschita, or the soul in every individual, is a reflection of the divine self in the mental process. This is intending to tell us that we are also divine. The same ray that is coming into our mirror that we are seeing is the same that will connect us to the sun directly also. So we are part of that. Every individual soul, being essentially Brahman, may be said to become fourfold, 100-fold, or all that is based on its ascending movement towards the realization. I am Brahman, I am all this. So when we become one with that super conscious state, that divine energy, then all things become possible. So, there is this Upanishad, Shvetashvatar Upanishad, or some Upanishad where Shvet Ketu and his father, Shvet Ketu is the son, and his father, I think Ugrashava, I may be mixing up the names, but I think it's right. So the student learns a ton of teachings from his teacher in the school, in the Gurukul, and now he has learned the Upanishads, the Vedas, and all that, and he comes home with a lot of subtle ego, that I have done so much studies and now I'm so smart. And so he's walking with a little pep in his step, and his father, who's a serious sage, who looks at his behavior, and he smiles and asks him a few questions, because his answers were a little arrogant, the son's answers, thinking he had learnt a lot. So his father asked him the question, Kasmin Bhagavato Sarvamidam Bhavati iti, Kasmin Bhagavate Bhagavan. This question has come up in different Upanishads by different sages from their masters, but in this case, it's the Guru, the father, asking his son, the student, that what is it that if you get, you would know it all? Did you learn that in school? Did you learn knowing which all can be known? Kasmin bhagavate jnanam sarvamidam bhavati iti. What is that knowledge through which everything can be known? So the boy thought about it for a while, and that was a watershed moment for him. What could he say? He did not know. Because if you become a doctor, then you're not an engineer. If you become an engineer, then you're not a scientist. If you're a scientist, you're not a blah, blah, blah. Millions of things in this world. So we are all only finding a little bit of light, and we have darkness everywhere else. But that little light that we find, we get comfortable. I am this, I am that, but that's not really you. So this is what happened in this case. Then the child is very interested. He says, oh, so how can you know everything by knowing one thing? And so the Guru gives him 2 or 3 examples just to humble his pride, you see. So he says, what is this? He says, it's a pot. What is this? This is a cup. He says, no, you are calling it a pot, you are calling it a cup, but really it's clay. If you understand clay, then you can make 1 million things out of that clay. Same thing with ornaments, golden ornaments. We make bangles, we make rings, we make, this, that, and then we get attached to that. This is my heirloom. This is what my great-grandfather left me. This is this is that. You take it to a goldsmith, he'll wait and tell you what its worth is. He doesn't attach emotions to your rings, whatever the gold is. So gold is the essence, but these ornaments are where we get mesmerized, where we get lost, where we get caught in the names and forms. So he gave that example, and then he says, I don't understand. Then the father says, okay, go get, they lived in ashram, so they had a huge banyan tree. He says, go get me a seed from the banyan tree. He gets the banyan tree seed. He says, here it is. And it's a very tiny seed. Banyan tree, those of you who have seen it, is huge. It's very large, big. I mean, it can give shade to a lot of people all at the same time. So he says, okay, so this is a tiny little seed he brings. He says, okay, can you smash this seed? He smashes the seed, and then he says, what, now that you have taken the seed out, and what's inside the seed? What do you see? He says, I see nothing. He says, precisely. That is the answer. You are seeing nothing, and from this nothing, this whole universe has emerged. It's from this nothing that your dream at night emerges. You see, you don't carry a briefcase with you at night full of dreams. I want to see this dream tonight or that dream. It doesn't work like that, isn't it? Sometimes you may not even have a dream. So from this nothing, the teacher tells the student, his son, that the whole world, the whole cosmos has emerged. He says, do you know that this one seed, if sowed properly, under proper conditions, and germinates, and once it grows into the big tree, can you imagine how many seeds will come out of this one tree? This one seed, once it takes practical shape and it becomes a real tree, how many seeds do you think it will generate? And it will continue to generate for years and years. And out of those seeds, if every one of them is germinated, within a moment, this world will be full of banyan trees only, nothing else. The Shvetketu understands. He asks for forgiveness. His humility and all his teenage stupidity is gone in a heartbeat. So that is what we have to understand, that we are all little kids. Sometimes we have pride, ego, I've done this, I've done that. We are all like little Shvetketus only, nothing more. So with humility, understanding, tapasya, meditation, Guru's blessings, all these things will eventually come to us. So, going back to the story, the royal attendants entertained their king Vipashchita in four forms by describing various scenes and sights of nature in a highly poetic and allegorical fashion. So we must fight our own victory, our own defeat, our own problems. We have to go through those challenges. So though essentially Brahman, each soul must follow a special path based on its karmas. Each must fight the battle of the world process. We are all unique. We are all different species and different embodiments. And here we are. Through God's grace, we have received this human body. So self-realization is the greatest victory. Why is it greatest? Because forever you terminate the cycles of birth and death. No more birth after this, which means a river merging into the ocean. After that, no more river. The river and the ocean have become one. So having attained this, a sage enjoys Ishvara Shrishti, creation filled with the glory of God. This is the theme of the following sections. The royal attendants entertained their king and different sights and all that. So now imagine how much stress, the war, and now them coming victorious again. So adversity, prosperity, you see, they continue. The attendant said, "Behold, O king, the glory of the vast sky, which cradles the sun and sustains numerous stars." In the sky, so many stars. So though possessing nothing, the sky is the giver of spaciousness to the objects and living beings in this world. That is why, so the role of Akash, we call it in Hindi, sky, space. It gives us space. Even within us, within our body, we have all these five elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And ether is the one that gives us space, expansion. So the night spreads a dark veil in the sky, and the moon spreads her refreshing moonlight to adore this great deity. The sky is constantly decked by numerous clouds and varied colors of the rainbow. The sky does not discriminate a dark cloud versus a white cloud versus a dry cloud or a rainy cloud. It accepts all under its wings. So though sustaining the agitation caused by clouds and the movement of celestial beings, the sky is ever untouched. We don't see footprints in the sky. We see footprints in the sand, in the mud. We see that, but not in the sky. It is how many birds fly. We can't see their footprints. It is a befitting symbol of the divine self. Like the consciousness of a sage, it is unaffected by the world process. So numerous worlds arise and dissolve in the vastness of the ether. Yet people call the ether an extension of mere voidness. This is indeed the height of folly. So ignorance has to be gradually removed, because it is our reality. It is. So that's why wise people call these things as indescribable, anivarchaniya. They don't call them that they don't exist or that they are merely wrong or it's just fiction. No, when you were dreaming, it was real to you, wasn't it? Your dream experience was very, very real till you woke up. Much in the same way, as we have already discussed, what we are going through from a higher and a more profound viewpoint is the same. It's an illusion, a dream. So, O king, behold the magnanimity of the clouds, how they give forth their bounteous gifts to the thirsty world. We pray for rain. Also, it comes from the Indra god Indra. So when that happens, the earth is parched and it feels satiated. The leaves turn green. All the place becomes beautiful. They are the embodiments of generosity, these clouds. These saints are like clouds, what they do. Why like clouds? Because they're always traveling, for one thing, from here to there. And the second thing is, they take this water from the ocean. Ocean water is salty water. You know that, right? You throw a straw and taste it, it will become salty. Your own body will taste salty in the ocean. So the water is, by the sun, the water is absorbed due to the heat. Moisture is created, and that moisture creates what? The clouds. And then when the clouds are in a more different temperature than the temperature of the moisture in that cloud, it will rain when it goes to a colder place. That is why in mountainous regions we see so much rain, unpredictable. Suddenly the cloud hits the mountain and it rains. But now what happens? When the rain comes, that water becomes fresh and pure. Have you ever tasted rainwater? No salt in it, none. So it's gone. Much in that way, the sages and saints, this is why we say we should study these scriptures under proper guidance of sages and saints. Because if you read it on your own, you are drinking salty water. Unless you become highly qualified and you become a guru yourself, then it's fine. Then nothing is needed anymore. Then even the scriptures only become a tool or a source of joy. You don't even have to read them anymore after enlightenment. But while you are on that journey, it becomes very important, because otherwise scriptures say contradictory things. And yet they are not wrong. They are right in both contexts. So in spirituality, we have to understand the bhavana, the context, why it was said this way or why it was said that way. And for that reason, we have mystical meanings. Sages and saints who explain this to us. Bhagavad Gita, just one shlok can be explained in so many different ways. An arrogant person, a foolish person, will justify the Bhagavad Gita to his own objective. Look, Arjuna had to fight, so fight. We should have war. We should kill people. That's what the Bhagavad Gita said. Putin can say this today. But that is not proper understanding of the Bhagavad Gita. So therefore, if you go deeper, where it says ahimsa is very important, non-violence is the core of spirituality. But yet it's different than being a coward. We cannot be a coward and then say we are non-violent. That would be wrong. So therefore, scriptures are complex. It takes a lot of faith, sincerity, humility to sit and understand these things. So they are like yogis who delight in the placid lakes of their spiritual consciousness. So just like clouds enjoy the company of the sky, they feel comfortable, secure, warm and fuzzy. Much in the same way, when the yogis are meditating or they are in the serene environments of the Himalayas or the caves or wherever they are, whatever they do, they are in that state of bliss, of spiritual consciousness. Because that spiritual bliss can be anywhere, at any place, for anybody who has achieved it. It is not only restricted to Himalayas and caves, although the external environment is very, very wonderful, and therefore these sages and saints start out that way, and then they get used to living there, and they move on. But you can be a sage living in Manhattan, in the busiest street, in the corners of places where there is a tremendous lot of activity going on, and yet internally you are totally peaceful, detached, and serene. Why? Because you are no longer looking at yourself as the body. You have connected to the source of bliss, which is your Atma. O cuckoos, why do you send forth your sweet notes among the branches of the neem trees, where the crows, with their constant fights with the owls, have defeated and have deafened one's ears? See, good and bad. So cuckoos, in Hindi we call them koel. I think koel is a beautiful. They have a beautiful, very melodious chirping in the morning. Beautiful. They almost sing, and so this is why Sage is saying that we have to use this knowledge sparingly, carefully, cautiously, and to deserving aspirants, good aspirants. Sometimes crows will come. I do so many tweets. Sometimes crows come. People don't like it because they are not used to this level of spirituality. So they may make something. They may make a comment. Buddha, Guru Nanak, Jesus Christ, all sages and saints have encountered these things because this is the world we live in. Just because you are walking on this path, we should not expect everybody else to start walking on it. See, we have to try to improve our own self one day at a time. So spiritual aspirants, Swamiji says, they are like cuckoos and they send forth sweet notes of spiritual messages. So they are just like rainwater. They are shedding that unconditionally to whoever wants it. Now whoever has the lid upright, the container upright, which means they are receiving the rainwater, they will be full to the brim, to the size of the container. If it's a small cup, the small cup will be full. If it's a big cup, that big cup will also be full. And if it's totally inverted, with the base, with the top of the cup upside down, not even a drop, isn't it? Not even one drop will go. So much in the same way, satsanga is exactly like that. So he says, but people overcome by ignorance and immersed in their selfish desires are dwellers on the bitter tree of the world process. Because all they know is greed, lust, desires, how I should get my way, and how I should promote my own radical agenda of spirituality or Christianity or Hinduism or this or that. There are so many ignorant people, and they are led by ignorant masters. Each one of them is in a fool's paradise, thinking they are the best. So the blind leading the blind, they will all fall into a dark, deep ditch. And you know what's sad? They think they are doing spiritual things. They think they are fighting on a mission, but it's totally wrong, totally inconsistent with the divine plan, the divine laws. But such is life. This is how the world is created. Where there is a Krishna, there will be a Duryodhana, there will be a Dushashana, there will be a Kans, all these things. So we cannot make this world perfect, you see. We should do our little bit, try to do what you can, and then sleep like a baby. Don't feel guilty, don't feel bad for this, that. Do your best and leave the rest. This is God's world. The best service you can do for God is to become a good human being yourself. Help others to whatever capacity you can. Their lives are filled with the noises and crowing of the impure ego. Who? People who are stupid, arrogant, ignorant, in darkness, and they think they know the light. So will you argue with them? Will you give them Brahma Gyan? No, it would be foolish to do that. That's what Swamiji is explaining here. Because they are hooting in their dark unconscious. Suppose somebody is not hungry, how can you feed them? It's a waste of your resources, it's a waste of your energy. So therefore, we should all understand that spirituality is a choice we all make. But the laws are very profound. If we make the wrong choice, we have to make the right choice in some other life. Because the journey of a river is what? Going to the ocean, isn't it? So it may find obstacles, it may get stuck in a desert, it may be here, it may be there. So there is nothing that we need to hate anybody. You don't question a kindergartner for his ignorance. You actually enjoy it. You play with him, right? And you know it will take a long time for him to be something. So, therefore, spiritual aspirants must turn away from the association of evil men. Let me repeat this. For serious aspirants, if you are serious, spiritual aspirants must turn away from the association of evil men. Don't answer back. We live in a social media world, right? So everything is so easy. Everything is YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, this, that, TikTok. Our mind is starting to go numb with all this stupidity. So, and there are people who will start asking you, what is this? What is that? And then you have to be discriminative to understand, is the question coming out of a genuine need to learn, or is it coming out of arrogance and trying to prove something? So the minute you feel uneasy, block that person, move on. Don't let it agitate your mind. And same goes in your life also. The minute somebody, some friend is starting to bother you to the point where it's affecting your spirituality, he's forcing you to go do something, go to a pub, go to a bar, and you have satsang and you want to attend that satsang, but he's a nice person, but you have told him a few times and again he does the same thing. It is perfectly normal to tell him to not bother you anymore. We have to make the decision. If we want it, then all bets are off. Then you yourself want it. So then how will you progress spiritually? But if you are sincere, that's why we say this is the journey of sincere souls, not souls who are doing a million things, and spirituality is another one of those things. You see, a cuckoo brought up in the midst of the crows is soon detested by the crows for its goodness, integrity, poise, beauty, and melodious voice. So all these things the cuckoo has, yet none of the crows like it. Those who are steeped in low-minded forms of living cannot welcome a person who expresses the glory of the soul. So only in pure satsanga we discuss this with serious spiritual aspirants. The others are not qualified. They will just listen to it for a few minutes, few seconds, and then their inner consciousness will not permit them to go on. They'll just move to something else. And then there are others who are serious, who mean good, but again the waves of the world carry them away. Swamiji, this came up, that came up, this is there, that is there. So whenever timing is right, there is no restriction, no force. It's our journey towards God. Whenever we feel able and competent, we can join again. There are many boats going the other side of the shore, but the time is of the essence, and the more we delay, the more it hurts us. So it says, "O cuckoos, this is not the time of spring, therefore do not sing your melodious notes." Imagine this train, this coming from the Guru itself. So Vashistha Muni, Swamiji, they are basically guiding us that don't force spirituality on anybody. It will backfire. Let them grow. Let a kindergartner be fit to pass that A for apple, B for boy stage. Once he has done that successfully, then he will learn to make sentences, and then he will slowly grow. So don't give him Brahma Gyan. Otherwise, it's like putting delicious dishes in a rotten container that has a foul, stenchy smell. Will you put any good food in that? No, nobody can. So therefore, we have to understand, abide in the solitude of the hollows of the trees. Go within, do your own tapasya, perfect yourself. And we are not perfect either. When we find faults with others, how can we do that? We have so many things to improve. If we want to become godlike, do you imagine if we still get angry, then we say, hey, I have no right to tell anybody else anything. I have only myself to fix. An aspirant must wait with patience for a proper environment in which he can express his spiritual ideas and thoughts. So that is what we are supposed to do. And this is why like-minded spiritual aspirants coming together is only through Guru's grace and God's grace and your many, many, many punyas from many lifetimes that have culminated to bring this level of cohesion and bhakti and devotion. So it's not a small thing, a very big thing here. It's not a race for quantity. I got so many likes on Facebook, I have so many people responding. That is all nonsense. On this path, all it takes is one good disciple who can change. Everybody knows Ramakrishna Paramahansa, one disciple, Vivekananda. How many disciples he had? Probably whoever they were, but nobody knows any other one, only one. Christ had how many? Just a few. Out of them, even one betrayed him, isn't it? Sold him for what? How many coins? Silver coins. So we have to be very careful on this path as we walk. So with this, we conclude our satsang for today, and we will start with section 117 in the next satsang, next Friday. And no Gita class this Sunday. Happy New Year to all of you. May God bless you with renewed determination, new strength you have. May all the blessings, joy, happiness, peace, contentment come to you. Let us do our arti together as we enter into, I will not see you till next year because we are not meeting on New Year's Day. So may God give you, may each of you have a happy, joyous, prosperous new year. And may this new year bring new rays of hope and joy in your lives. And may your spirituality continue to grow. May our satsang continue to flourish. May our Guru's blessings be always upon all of us. Om Namo Bhagavate Shivanandaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Jyotirmayanandaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Shankaracharya, Hari Om Tat Sat. So now let's chant our Aarti and then we will conclude our satsang for today. जय जय आरती विघ्न विनायक श्री गणेशा, जय जय आरती सुब्रह्मण्या कार्तिकेया, जय जय आरती वेणुगोपाला वेणुलोला पाप विदुरा नवनीत चोरा, जय जय आरती वेंकटरमणा संकट हरणा सीतारामा राधे श्यामा, जय जय आरती गौरी मनोहर भवानी शंकर सांबा सदा शिव उमा महेश्वर, जय जय आरती राजराजेश्वरी त्रिपुर सुंदरी महाकाली महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाशक्ति, जय जय आरती आंजनेया हनुमंता, जय जय आरती दत्तात्रेया त्रिमूर्ति अवतारा, जय जय आरती आरती शैनेश्वराया शैनेश्वराया भास्कराया जय जय आरती सद्गुरुनाथा सद्गुरुनाथा शिवानंदा सद्गुरुनाथा ज्योतिर्मयानंदा सद्गुरुनाथा साई बाबा जय जय आरती विघ्न विनायक न तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम नेमा विद्युतो भाति कुतोऽयम् अग्निः तमेव भान्तम् अनुभाति सर्वं तस्य भासा सर्वमिदं विभाति ओम शांतिः 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 ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ओम शांतिः 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 ओम त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगंधिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मोक्षीयमामृतात् ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ओम करचरणकृतं वा कायजं कर्मजं वा श्रवणनयनजं वा मानसं वापराधं विहितम विहितम वा सर्वमेतत्क्षमस्व जय जय करुणाब्धे श्री महादेव शंभो जय जय करुणाब्धे श्री महादेव शंभो जय जय करुणाब्धे श्री महादेव शंभो समस्त लोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्त लोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ओम शांतिः 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 ओम ब्रह्मर्पणं ब्रह्महवि ब्रह्मग्नौ ब्रह्मणाहुतं ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यं ब्रह्मकर्म समाधिनः अहं वैश्वानरो भूत्वा प्राणिनां देहमाश्रितः प्राण अपान समायुक्ता पचामन्यं चतुर्विधं हरिः ओम तत्सत ब्रह्मर्पणमस्तु समस्तलोकाः सुखिनो भवन्तु ओम शांतिः शांतिः शांतिः. So Hari Om Tat Sat to all of you beautiful loving souls. And so here on Zoom we have Sadashiva ji, Aaron, and then here I see Yogini ji, Roshni ji, Shankar ji, and Priya ji, and all of you beautiful, beautiful souls. Nirmala ji, so good to see you today on Satsang. I know you have not been well, and I hope everything is going well for all of you. Everyone has some problem or the other in this world, but and Vidya Singh ji has joined, so bahut acha, very nice. Ashirwad aapko, Rabin ji ko, to all of you loving souls. Alex, God bless you. And Manishi Pallavi ji, how you must be feeling. Your gurus, your Mamaji's teachings are going across the world now through gurus and little humble instruments like us. So God bless you. And Yogini ji and all of you, may you be happy. And sometimes people may be watching, but if they don't give me namaskar or some kind of a sign, I don't generally take their names, because coming to the temple, it's like they are on the outside of the temple. If they ring the bell and come in, then definitely we can also keep them in our prayers. But if they are just observing or watching, then may they get these vibrations also. And whoever listens to this in the future, may they all benefit. Hari Om Tat Sat. Happy New Year to all of you. May you be blessed and may your spirituality continue to increase. Guru Kripa hi kevalam shishyasya param mangalam. May Gurus and God's blessings be constantly upon each of you. Hari Om Tat Sat. We conclude now. Hari Om.